love that's one that's
Yeah.
my first piece of recording music was Rhinestone Cowboy. At 45. Yep. That's right.
That's a big good show.
Where's he from?
He's not from Michigan, no.
Jim, what was the name of the other guy besides Bob?
Jerry.
Jerry.
His name is Carl Baker Jr. and he's from,
Sorry on that one.
yeah. I think it was Missouri or Kansas, I can't remember.
2 weeks ago, it was a cold. Her husband sings in the band. He's a Chicago truck.
They're gonna be on the Christmas tree.
Yeah. I'm coaching.
Phil?
Yep.
Yeah,
And then there's also.
they're gonna play the picks and he's like, oh my God, I
That's a
get
good
to
idea.
actually play where I live. I'm like, yeah.
And then you have-
Okay. It's all right, okay.
I think so, we might not have video, that's maybe.
Okay. So we're gonna call the meeting to order. It's 8:08, roll call.
Got it.
You attached the the February minutes of the DDA. For a motion to approve.
You skipped B.
Oh, I meant agenda. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I started reading March and I'm like, oh no, those are the minutes. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So is there a motion to approve the current agenda before you for today?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Now is the time for public comments. Is anyone here that would like to make a comment? Hearing none, moving on to the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from February, as well as the treasurer's report and one budget amendment. Does everybody want to approve that all together in one consent agenda, or do you want to pull the budget amendment out?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, is there support?
I'll support it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Executive Committee. The Executive Committee actually has been meeting to work on the DDA development plan that is, has to be looked at because we're at 10 years. So that's an ongoing process. We're hoping to meet up with Kelly at the city to work on the TIP portion of the plan to make sure we have all the information necessary. And then we are, in the next couple of weeks, going to be working on the budget for the next fiscal year. So hopefully we'll have that to bring to you at the end of April. And that's really pretty much the update. Is there anything else we did?
That's it.
Okay. Moving on to committee reports, Outreach Committee.
Well, I can say personally, I've had a good couple of weeks where just approaching several businesses, well, like 8, and I've got 4 that are reporting to their own boards. I told you last time to stamp, but also Rural Professional Services, Choice One Bank. They're talking to Mike about that. Mike, he's pretty sure he can give us something. You don't want to overcommit, but he's going to Sparta, their other headquarters, tomorrow, and he's going to talk to that, mention that, see if he can get the okay to do something over here for us.
Okay. Great.
And the 2 of them, and I spoke to him about this last time, I think, but they've also just asked you, give us kind of what is your mission statement? Who are you?
I will forward that to you.
Thank you.
Can you also send me a copy of our updated sponsorship?
Just so they can have that with their own paperwork when they approve these kind of things.
I think it was attached to the agenda last month.
It was, but there were some typos on it.
Oh, so you're gonna send an updated form then
Yeah.
to everybody? Okay. Anything else from the committee?
Just to add to that, we did get a sponsorship from Avery's Automotive and Essential Necessities also.
Oh, great. All right, moving on to,
They were gold level.
Yes, cool level.
moving on to Business Development Committee. Tim is not here. The committee did meet. Did you want to?
We did meet, and we did also have our second Rise and Shine morning meetup. We are partnering with the Chamber of Commerce on that now. Our second one, we had little over, I think it was about 22 people that were there. This one was kind of just around Robbins to kind of have some conversations about what some of the challenges are that some of our business owners are having, also some of the successes. Next month, we are going to be joined by Janice Mueller from the Small Business Development Center, talking about their small business cohort and some of the programs that they have through the SBDC. And then in May, we are having a social media contact. We're going to go over social media etiquette, social media marketing, best practices, et cetera. The chamber has somebody that they've reached out to be able to do that for us. And then down the road, we're hoping to do some on branding. We're hoping to do some on marketing outside of social media as well, really kind of making them just an educational opportunity for our businesses down here.
Next
But-
place,
Oh, I'm sorry, if I could, I don't know if it's broken in that report. Is there any kind of update from Tom or Craig as far as the fire site? Any progress that we developed?
There has been progress on like the technical side, planning side. And they've been working with the DDA with me on that. They've also been working with the MEDC and utilizing some of the RRC services available through the city of Lapeer. Nothing that is really public yet for that though. Yeah.
anything else? All right, moving on to placemaking committee.
Just a quick update on that. We met, talked about kind of expanding the sign assistance grant to focus more on projection style signs, like the signs that extend out from the buildings, so they're more visible for pedestrian traffic as well as vehicle traffic. And then did get an update. We are anticipating getting our grant funds for the vibrancy grant in the next few weeks. So we're going to be able to kind of hit the ground running for our wayfinding signs and the projects that we have together for that project. So it'll be another exciting summer with some visual impact going on.
Any questions on that, maybe? All right, moving on to the events committee.
Just they have not met since the meeting after the retreat, but the plan is to meet quarterly for that group, which would make April their next meeting.
Okay. On to other reports. Jill, Center for the Arts.
Sorry, my alarm's going.
Good time.
It's time to get up. Currently in the gallery, we have the Catherine Bailey Show. It will be there until April 27th. Catherine is a graduate of Michigan State University with a BFA in art. She lives in Metamora and she was born without hands. So not only is her artwork absolutely gorgeous, but then you look at it and realize that she did it without hands. It's just truly amazing. And if nothing else, go in there because it looks like spring in the gallery. They're beautiful colors and flowers and you want to touch them. It's very painterly and very textural.
Is she the woman, sorry, Jill, is she the woman that was in the article, or it was in Reader Feed? It was in the paper, actually, this morning. She
Could be in the paper.
yeah, I
So
saw
we had the
her.
article in Sunday's paper, all the
Yeah.
pictures.
There's a
Yeah.
picture of her on Sunday. I haven't seen today's paper. On the Sunday paper in the bottom, there's a picture of her painting.
I might be in the reader feedback. There was a nice long
Was there?
Yeah, somebody
commentary
really impressed
about
by
her. Yes, it's very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I really encourage you to stop by the gallery, take a look. Like I said, the show will be there until April 27th. We had a reception for her on Friday, which was very nice. And because of the snow, her family showed up. She has a large family, which is good, but it was all family. So we had a family reunion for them. In the month of February, there were 80 patrons participating in art classes. In the month of March, that number was down to 57. The gift shop continues to receive new merchandise, including some small works by Catherine Bailey. And I encourage you, if you're looking for a gift, Mother's Day is coming, stop by, check us out. And the picks, as I stated last month, February and March are really difficult months for us because of the weather being unpredictable. And it seems like a vast majority of Lapeer County is south, somewhere warm. having said that, this March has not been a total disaster like last year was. We did have 2 rescheduled shows that ended up in March. One was supposed to be in November, the other was supposed to be in January, and they did fairly well. One of which was our first ever cabaret immersive experience in the gallery, which was, we had the Kate High Note Trio in the gallery with tables. Everybody was right with the band. It was a 90-minute concert. It was really great. Everyone that was there had a wonderful time, and so we will be doing a couple more of those next year. Just total different vibe from being in the pits. Our youth theater group, Generation Arts, is working on a documentary about Oakdale. This was their idea and it's their project. But if you know of anyone that worked at Oakdale or interacted with Oakdale and is willing to be interviewed, please let me know. They are interviewing, they've done about 5 interviews so far. Various people that have worked there or people that were around when Oakdale was. On April 7th, which is a Sunday at 2:30, we have the nationally touring show, Assisted Living the Musical. The reason we're having that show on a Sunday was I was able to get it to come to Lapeer by jumping on some routing through Southeast Michigan. But it's a funny show and it's about assisted living. So there are still tickets available for that. On April 13th, we'll have the national touring group ABBA Mania, and those tickets are going quickly. And then on Wednesday, April 17th, we have fiddler extraordinaire Aaron Jonah Lewis, and he's going to play the Pick Silver Series. That's a Wednesday 2:30 show. And on April 27th, we have the Wichita Linemen, which is a Glenn Campbell tribute band. On May 3rd, if you will kind of save the date, TJ Craven is performing a benefit concert to help us raise money for the Center for the Arts Endowment. Our endowment is held at the Lapeer County Community Foundation. And then there's going to be an afterglow following that performance. You will all be receiving invitations to this event, but if you
What time that will be?
It'll be at 7:30. I still don't have the second quarter profit and loss statement because it still has not gone before our finance committee due to health issues with our treasurer. She is back, and so next month you'll get the second and third quarter together, as long as I can get the rest of the finance committee together, one of which is Tim. So hopefully I can get all of the parties together. Lake Orion Plumbing and Heating has the new HVAC system for the gallery building. They have it. We don't. They are waiting on permits to close Court Street and running a crane to get the units up on the roof. So I don't have an install date yet. And I'm hoping and praying we have heat today because we didn't yesterday and we didn't on, it's been out 3 times within the past week. And it does not warm up quickly in the gallery. It's a big refrigerator. So hopefully, he's managed to get our unit that's limping to keep going until they can get the new install. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Okay, staff report.
So I have a handful of things to touch base on. First, I wanted to draw your attention to the last section of your packet is the draft of our asset mapping report that was put together by Main Street America in cooperation with us. This is the draft. The final one we should have probably like in the next week or 2. But there's some really good information in here. Really useful stuff, especially the back section where we actually have suggestions on social media posts and how we can kind of market this and get the information out to the public. So take some time and skim through that when you have an opportunity. And then as soon as we have the final report, we'll be sharing that with everybody. And then also wanted to kind of acknowledge and give credit, I think, to everybody. Something we should be proud of is that Lapeer Main Street, the DDA, our downtown, the city has really become an example. Like the work we've been able to do the last several years has become an example that other communities and other organizations are starting to look at. This was very apparent in March. Beginning of March, I was able to speak at the MDA Spring Workshop and talk about all of the things we were able to do with last year's vibrancy grant. And then that second week of March, we hosted the Michigan Main Street Spring Workshop here in Lapeer. And Lapeer represented itself very well. The Main Street directors that were here that went into downtown businesses said every one of them was super positive. They had a great experience. Wood Chips did dinner for us on Monday night, and everybody loved it. The servers were all great, took their time, they did a great job. On Tuesday, I think almost everybody except for a few went to Vinyl for lunch, and they accommodated, and Scott took the time to go to every table and talk to every one of them, and then provided a whole spread of appetizers and snacks for the afternoon. Coffee houses both went above and beyond for us. So Lapeer really kind of stepped up and hosted this workshop fantastically well. And then the day after the workshop, I was in Cadillac. We were invited there to talk about the benefits that we've experienced with Main Street as they're looking to become a Main Street community. And they wanted the perspective of a community that wasn't from, just wasn't a Main Street program, or it is a Main Street program, but not connected with the MEDC directly, not through staff. So it was an opportunity to kind of brag and talk about ourselves. And tomorrow I will be taking part in the MDA Pulse podcast with Dana Walker, talking about the programming and success that we've had in Lapeer. Today at 9 a.m., we will be meeting virtually with the MEDC. They are doing a storytelling podcast with Bill Ike. This is separate from the storytelling service that we'll be doing later this year, but they want to feature Lapeer as a case study for the success we've had with Main Street, but also talking about the RRC service as well and how Lapeer has started to be able to leverage some of the resources through that program as well. So other organizations, other communities are really starting to take note of the work we've been able to do here. So I think that's a testament to the work that we've all been able to do. Also this month on April 3rd, I'm going to be hosting the staff from Senator Gary Peters' office for a visit to the downtown to kind of showcase, again, some of the projects we've been able to do, but then also talk about some of the challenges that every downtown experiences, including Lapeer. And it's an opportunity to kind of get a federal audience. Carol Lamborn from Kiwanis Club is also going to join me, and Rodney Church, Director of the Parks Department, is also going to join me as well, because they've submitted a request for federal spending for their all-inclusive playground. So it's a great opportunity to make a direct contact for that project. And then on April 4th, I'm going to be taking part in a meeting with Eric Smith from the Parks Department and Lumicon and a company called IntelliStreets. To kind of really learn what our streetlights are capable of, including the possibility of adding a downtown speaker system for us as well, and exploring a T-Mobile hometown grant for that to see if that's a possibility. And then April 4th, Debbie and possibly Mike and I are going to meet with Community Heart and Soul to talk about that program, which is just kind of a community pride boosting program. April 5th, I will not be in the office. That's my annual trip to opening day. So that's where I will be. And then just a reminder, April 8th is the solar eclipse. So kind of a unique opportunity to come downtown and see it from a different perspective, but make sure you get your glasses for it. So that's really all I have. There's a lot of information also in your packets as well.
Did you are you the certified local government person that was going to come and speak to us? Have you?
So they have a new employee at the State Historic Preservation Office. So Alan Higgins, who came and talked with us about the CLG program last year, he's moved up and kind of now has a higher position in SHPO. So they hired somebody else to kind of oversee CLG. She starts in April. So we've reached out to them to talk about having her come to Lapeer as well and kind of give an update, answer more questions on the CLG program. Probably wouldn't be April, but they're looking at possibly joining us for May.
Good. Okay, thanks for that update. All right, moving on to new business. There should be, I know Chris had it, and hopefully he passed it. You got it. Okay, so it's the sign-up sheet that we talked about last month. We would like each board member to volunteer for a month. There will be, I'm actually doing the first Monday next month, but after that, there'll be 8 more slots. So if each of you could pick a month that you could attend the first commission meeting of the month, which would be, I think it's the first Monday except for September would be Tuesday, but all the dates are on the sheet. If you could make sure that you share it and that you select one of those to come. All you're doing is you can do it during public comment. You're limited to 3 minutes, so you're just giving a quick update as to what's going on with the DDA at that particular time. So I don't think it's a big ask, and I would really appreciate everybody signing up for a date before they leave. And then, any questions on that? Okay, the next thing is the board member letter of commitment that we actually had passed around last month, and Jim was gracious enough to make more copies and bring them, so there should have been one at your seat. So please not only sign that, but there's a place for you to put the number of hours additional to your board meeting and committee meetings that you would be willing to volunteer on a monthly basis. But if you could please sign that and leave that before you leave, we would appreciate that. There is no old business. We're down to board member comments. Anybody have any comments? Everybody's really quiet this morning.
Cloudy.
It's cloudy.
Just when you mentioned the lights, Jim, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last month, but I was just in there 2 weeks ago again, visiting my sister in Northville. Their downtown lamps, they have them, and they're set up right now for Easter. They're a lot like ours, but they change. So right now they're like all pastel, pink, light green.
The light, like the light itself
The
is pink?
the bulbs
It's like
are
an
those.
LED.
So they're
Yeah.
LED, they pulse, really, really cool. And
The company that we're meeting with, they're a partner of Lumicon, and Lumicon is the company that did the street lamps for Lapeer. This company is called IntelliStreets, and they use like the computer hub that's in the center of those lights to be able to adapt them and make all kinds of changes. Depending on like the style that you get, there are different things that you can do. So some of them you can change the colors of the LEDs. I don't know that ours can do that. Lapeer's is what's called the Ring of Fire, so I think it's just a solid color, but they still have that internal kind of computer hub. So there's possibilities of creating hotspots, adding the speaker system that can be controlled remotely. There's even ways of creating digital banners. So we have the vinyl banners that we hang throughout the year. There's even ways that essentially they're like TV screens, but they're LED screens, and so you can control them and change them remotely. They can do traffic counts, pedestrian counts. There's all kinds of things that can be done with them. So we're going to learn. I mean, our focus right now is just the speaker system, but they're going to kind of give us an overview of the style that we have and what can be done with those. But as for the color changing LEDs, the city did finish installing LED lights where each of the cupolas goes, and those are all color changing LEDs that can be controlled with a remote. So for like the different holidays and the different seasons, the planters and the entrance statements with the cupolas will be able to be lit up with the different color schemes.
Okay, any other comments from the board? All right, there is no correspondence, so is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll have to mail it out for the rest.
Yeah.
Mr. Womack?